Hello, welcome to this tutorial on how to create a third-person controller in Godot. This tutorial will cover creating a character body, setting up a third-person camera, creating inverse kinematics for our character model, and attaching weapons to our character model. So we can get right to it. First, I'll create a mesh for our player to move on, along with a world environment and a directional light. Next, I'll add a character body to our scene and add a collision shape to it. Now I'm going to add already rigged model to the character body that I downloaded from Adobe Mixamo and set it as local. Now I'll also add a node 3D, which I'll name head, and underneath that I'll add a camera 3D, which I'll position to create a third-person view. Next, I will create a script for our character body and leave it as is, only changing the controls to W, S, A, and D. Now I will create a script for the head node as well. In this script, I will add 3 onReady variables representing the head, camera, character, and 2 normal variables for vector 3 and sensitivity. Next, I'll add input.mouse mode equals input.mouse mode captured under the ready function, which will hide the mouse cursor when the game is turned on. Now under the process delta function, I'll add head rotation degrees x equals vx, and the same for the character body, only I'll replace x with y. Next, I'll create an input function, and under it, I'll write if event is input event mouse motion, then vy g event.relative.x. Send's in the same, but again I'll replace y with x and x with y. And vx equals clamp, vx, and the numbers that determine the rotation range of the camera. Now, when I start a scene, I can rotate the camera around our player character. Next, I'll just add a simple crosshair to aim with. Now I'll add an animation player node under the camera and create a new animation. In this animation, at the FOV settings, I'll click on the key and then change the FOV to, for example, 45, and click on it again. Now I'll add to our head script. If input is action just pressed, then the animation starts, and if input is action just released, then the animation plays backwards. Now when I start the scene and press the input button I set, the camera zooms in. As next, under skeleton 3D, I will add skeleton IK. For this node, I will set for root bone the lower part of the character spine, and for tip bone the upper part of the spine. Next, under the head node, I'll add marker 3D and put it slightly above the head of our 3D model. And for skeleton IK, I'll set this marker as the target node. Now when I put play IK, I can see that the 3D model is oriented by the marker. Now I'm going to add this line to the head script in the ready function, which will start the skeleton IK. Now, when I run the scene, our character model rotates in the direction of the camera. Lastly, I'll add a bone attachment under the skeleton node, and under that I'll put the weapon model I want to use. I'll just use a mesh for the example. Now I just set which bone I want the mesh to attach to. Now when I start the scene, the weapon is attached to the bone, and that completes our third-person view controller. Thanks for watching this tutorial, and I'll see you next time.